Hey, this is Pastor Frank. Hope you're having a good week this week. If you were with us this last Sunday, we are in the second week of a series that we're doing called Respect the Beard. And we're talking about the wisdom literature. Now I read a verse to you last Sunday. I want to read it to you again. It's Psalm 19. And this is what it says. The heavens declare the glory of God. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the works of his hands. Day after day, they pour forth speech, and night after night, they reveal knowledge. You know, when we look up into the stars in the sky, it says that the stars sing the existence of God. Does everybody have knowledge of God? Yes. When you look up into the stars in the sky, it declares that there's a creator. It is a cause that screams of an effect. Someone put it in place. And yet, when we begin to talk about the knowledge of God, there's also specific knowledge of God. Remember this. Wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the application of knowledge. Do people have knowledge of God? Yes. Do people have knowledge of God specifically? Some do and some don't. Jesus said this in John 17:3. This is eternal life, that they may know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ whom thou hast sent. To know God specifically is very critical, very important. To have knowledge, specific knowledge of God, and apply it to your life is wisdom. Jesus said this. He said, he who hears these words of mine and acts on them is like a wise man who builds his house on the rock, right? A foolish person is one who hears the teachings, the word of Christ, God in human flesh walking in our midst. And God says, in Jesus, hear me, build your life on me, and be wise. To hear me and to ignore me is foolishness. You know, this week as we get in growth groups, and I encourage you that you get a chance to get into growth groups and just to discuss the sermon and the message on Sunday. There's a book in the Bible dedicated to the idea that there is no God. And how do you live life without the knowledge of God? That book is Ecclesiastes. And when you read the book, it's a depressing book, because in the book it says, meaningless. Without God, how do we find meaning in life? Hey friends, before you knew God, how did you find purpose and meaning in life? When did you meet God? When did you get that specific revelation of who God is, that specific knowledge of God? And how have you, knowing Jesus, how has that changed your life? Just in terms of how you live life and how you make decisions. This is a great topic. It's a great series. I so encourage you guys just to be a part of this and have a good time with it. Hey, I want to say this. In a few weeks, we're going to be doing baptisms. It's the first Sunday in October the 2nd. And if you haven't been baptized, I so encourage you to think about it and come join us. So, hey, Woodbridge, have a good week this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about all kinds of wisdom that comes from the knowledge of God, as God speaks into our lives about so many topics. Next week, we're going to be talking about friendships and who we hang out with. Did you know the Bible speaks a lot about that topic? So look forward to seeing you next Sunday. I certainly hope that you're in groups this week discussing and sharing the sermon that we had. And good news for you, friends. There's a God that made you. You have meaning and purpose in life because God gives you meaning and purpose. To have this type of knowledge and to apply it to our lives, it's the highest knowledge of all. God bless you guys. See you next Sunday.